Well, Bob, get ready for the coldest Steelers at Browns game in history. That's according to our records. You mentioned the temperatures in the teens, the wind chill factor going into the minus double digits. That's because we got a stiff, strong wind blowing down here on the field. And it's actually worse at one end of the field than the other. As you watch the game tonight, when a team is going from the left to the right towards the east end zone, they're going to be dealing with a swirling wind. It's worse over on this side than it is on this side. And again, it's freezing out here, guys. Any colder, and they might consider a pet advisory for the dog pound.
Well, Scott, trying to stay warm during the course of the night. Joshua Cribbs would like to take it to the dog pound. He has one kickoff return for a touchdown, 6 career kickoff returns for touchdowns, tied for the most in NFL history, 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is an X factor that they've talked about. Of course, Steeler Nation travels well, and Josh Reed is about to get this game kicked off as Mike Tomlin and his football team. He said, look, I know where we stand right now. I know how we got in this predicament. Who wants to fight to get their way out of it? So Jeff Reed got it teed up with a little help. Cribbs from his own 2. Cribbs finds a seam out to the 35-yard line. Andre Frazier on the tackle. 33-yard return. Brady Quinn on the season, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Brady made his first ever start last year here on NFL Network on Thursday Night Football against the Denver Broncos, and threw for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns that night. So take a look at the Browns on offense. The center, Alex Mack, a rookie out of California. They'll go with the young receivers. Massaquoi with 28 catches. Jerome Harrison on the toss. Picks up about a yard or 2. William Gay knocked him out of bounds. Jerome Harrison in his 4th year out of Washington State, 5th round draft pick. William Gay in his 3rd year out of Louisville. We'll expect to see a lot of that, Matt. A lot of running.
Yeah, you'd expect to see that, and you'd also expect to see what you're watching right now, and that's a quickened pace for this Cleveland Brown offense. 2 things, I think. Brady Quinn is more comfortable with the quicker pace. It actually helps him slow down a little bit, and also limits what the Steelers can do defensively.
2nd and 9. Quinn with a screen for Harrison. Gets a block. Gets up to the 44-yard line and has a first down. Brett Kiesel on the tackle. There's Troy Polamalu, who will not play again tonight. He has been the difference maker. Mike Tomlin said, look, he does things that we can't coach. He does things in our defense that enable us to make different kinds of reads and different kind of calls, but that doesn't mean that we can't play to a certain baseline of winning football even without Troy.
Well, they're going to have to. They hopefully, especially tonight, obviously, hopefully they get him back a week from now.
Was injured in week 1 of the season, and he's been dealing with it all year. Handoff to Harrison, and he gets throttled by Tyrone Carter, who's starting for the injured Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, and doing his best Polamalu imitation. You're going to watch him walk up late, and that's something that Polamalu does all the time. But you're going to see just right down here, he's just going to come right down, and then he's going to make a play. Polamalu is one of those guys who tries to time things. Carter tries to do the same thing, just gets inside of St. Clair, the right tackle, and gets the loss.
2nd and 14 for the Browns. Cribbs goes in motion. Quinn trying to find his tight end, Evan Moore, and it's too high. Moore, a 2nd-year player out of Stanford, just was signed a couple of weeks ago, and they love what Evan Moore can do. As you get a look at Eric Mangini, he said, look, we expected this kid to possibly give us something next year. Little did we know that this year he might be one of our more accomplished players.
Yeah, and you know, it's the results is one game. You're going to have to see more than that. But I think the more important thing is that Brady Quinn was comfortable with throwing to the tight end inside.
3rd and 14. Quinn with time, middle of the field, has Moore, but he's short of the first down as he gets tackled 4 yards short of the sticks. Gain of 10 on the play. So 1 first down for the Browns, and they'll punt the football away. Reggie Hodges signed on the 15th of November, averaging 40.8 yards a punt. Welding Moore back deep. Moore calls for a fair catch at the Pittsburgh 15. Said, look, we're in a real long tunnel here we got to fight our way out of, but it starts tonight. Just win 1 in a row. Mendenhall, the tailback, and he'll get the first carry. Mendenhall squeezes through the right side, picks up 5. Rubin on the tackle.
That's a nice little divot right there. Did you see that stuck in that knee brace? And that's what you're going to see now. For me, when you watch this Pittsburgh Steelers offense, the bottom line is this. They're going to have to run the football. They're going to have to check the quarterback. That's given in any football game. But the Steeler offensive line, to me, that's where they're going to have to start picking it up.
Offensive coordinator Bruce Arians said, hey, look, we could help our defense out by being more productive in the red zone. It's a team thing. Mendenhall on a 2nd and 5 gets a cutback lane, then gets gang tackled at the 24-yard line, a yard short of the first down. Matt Roth on the tackle as you get a look at defensive coordinator Rob Ryan. We had a lot of fun with Rob yesterday. He's really excited about some of these young, no-name guys that he has, because he said the one thing we ask that they play hard.
Well, and he has to be excited because that's what he's got. He's got a bunch of guys who are hurt, and he's going to try to take the exuberance and the zeal and try to get them fired up to play on emotion. That's what you got to do.
3rd and 1. Roethlisberger to throw. Roethlisberger is going to get sacked back at the 15-yard line. Corey Williams gets his 3rd sack of the season.
Well, they went man-to-man outside. They got the pressure up inside, but good coverage down the field. Roethlisberger has nowhere to throw. It all starts outside in coverage, and just look, they just talk everybody on top of everybody. You see Hines Ward, and then because there's nowhere to throw the football, they're able to get to Roethlisberger.
But the wind at his back, Sepulveda with the punt. Cribbs lets it bounce, and the Steelers will touch it down. Well, buffeted from the wind, some of the Cleveland Browns fans with the standing room only seats, is Ben Roethlisberger. Incomplete pass on 3rd and 1. It's not your grandfather's Steelers. Last year, Pittsburgh, a lot of times in 3rd and 1, would go to that little spread set. It's not necessarily all about power football anymore with the Steelers. Yeah,
well, and a lot of that falls on Ben Roethlisberger's shoulders because he can still make a play with his feet, and he can make the big play down the field.
2nd possession for the Browns. Give it off for Harrison. Picks up 3 to the 41-yard line. Hampton and Kershke on the tackle. Well, Brady Quinn is a young man that, he was in and out of the lineup this year, Matt, but, he's trying to find his way.
Well, it's like we said at the start of the show. Brady Quinn has gotten better. And now it looks like they're going to go with the Wildcat, and they're going to spread him out. He's gotten better, but the part for him is the game has to slow down. Still a little fast for him.
Josh Cribbs will run it, but we get a whistle. And a penalty on Cleveland.
False start. Offense number 65.
Ron Winter, our referee. Eric Steinbach, veteran left guard, called for the penalty.
Now, the one thing that Brady Quinn has done well for the last month is, you can see right there, he's protected the ball. And he's making better decisions. And he's seeing the field a little bit better. But the part is where, the part that he struggles a little bit, he doesn't see it fast enough. Sometimes his decision making, he's just holding on to it a little bit too much. And that little hesitation is a big difference in this league.
They'll stay in the Wildcat. And Cribbs is going to run it with some blockers, but tripped up nicely from behind by Brett Kiesel.
It's interesting. Yesterday, we had a chance to talk with Dick LeBeau and get his little philosophy and how he looks at an offense, how he breaks it down. The first thing he said is, you know, you go to their big gun first. What's the first thing, the best thing that they do, and you try to take that away. And when you look at the Cleveland Browns, the thing he has to take away is Josh Cribbs, because it's multifaceted. It's in the pass game, it's in the run game, and he's got to be able to take that away.
On a 3rd and 10, Quinn with the seam. Oh, what a catch by Evan Moore, and he's got a first down to the Pittsburgh 37, gain of 24.
Evan Moore doesn't even know that he's not supposed to be doing this. He's just on the front end. You're going to hear a lot about this kid. He has great confidence. He doesn't run great, but he has great concentration, great fundamentals. Here's the most important part. Brady Quinn has confidence in him. And when you have a tight end, he opens up the game because he'll eat up your safeties.
Came into the league as a free agent last year with New Orleans, was on IR on the practice squad this year. Robisky on the carry. Chancey Stuckey, excuse me, the former Jet with the end around. And that one loses maybe a half yard as you get a look at Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, his eyes lit up when he talked about Evan Moore. Everybody that we talked to from Cleveland. You know, he's a kid out of Stanford, smart kid. He said he just knows how to position himself getting downfield.
Well, here's the thing, you know, not many people know about him because he hasn't played, but they know about him because they watch him in practice all the time. He said he was doing this very same thing in practice every day.
Stuckey in motion. Quinn just got the play off. Going for the deep ball for the rookie Massaquoi, but the ball drifts out of bounds and incomplete. Joe Burnett on the coverage.
That's a nice job here. They go with the zone, but they do bring pressure. And the whole thing is set up by getting, you have to have protection. And if you're going to be a running back and you're a little guy, they're going to pick on you. You can see Harrison, and that's a part of the game that he's had to work on. They'll try to get a big backer on him, or they'll give you numbers and try to get Harrison on you or something like that. If you're a running back, you have to be able to block.
Quinn's got to watch the play clock. Just got it off on a 3rd and 10. Dumped it off to Massaquoi. It's incomplete as Lawrence Timmons got push on the pocket.
Yeah, he came off that edge. Here's what they do. The Pittsburgh Steelers do this really well. This is Dick LeBeau stuff. First, you got Harrison on one side. He's going big on big with John St. Clair, and he's able to get the edge. Do a little bit of little hook right there. But they give you numbers in the front. They start walking people around, and it makes you, as an offensive line, have to account for too many people.
Hodges punting into the wind. Downed at the 6-yard line by Blake Costanzo. Welding Moore gets shut down as he takes it out to the 10-yard line and picks up 4 on the play. Rashard Mendenhall on the carry and a 4-yard pickup.
You know, one of the things that are really fun in games like this is the chess match that goes on from sideline to sideline. So now you have Bruce Arians with that offense, and now you go over to Rob Ryan on the sideline, and they're taking calculated guesses, and they're running run blitzes, and they're trying to guess where they're going, and that's the fun part.
Hines Ward in motion. Mendenhall again. Nowhere to go. Good pursuit to the football by the entire defensive front. Matt Roth got in on the tackle. He was just picked up on November the 25th from Miami.
Yeah, I don't think that I believe that the Dolphins weren't very thrilled with losing him. But Matt Roth is one of those players who's a tough guy. He was like that when he was at Iowa. He plays hard all the time. They have him an outside linebacker. You can watch him there, number 53. He plays physical. He plays tough. Got a great motor. Comes hard all the time. You see back here, they're going empty. Nobody behind him.
3rd and 3 for Roethlisberger. Blitz on, and he will get sacked for the 2nd time. Hank Poteet gets his first sack of the season.
Well, this is Rob Ryan rolling the dice. He goes man-to-man outside, and he brings an extra guy. You're going to see Poteet off the edge. He's going to come in off the left side of your screen. Nicely done. You see how he was going to try to roll out of it.
So Roethlisberger's been sacked twice now, both on third down. Sepulveda with the punt. Cribbs bobbled it at the 45. Cribbs now picks up a block. Josh Cribbs inside the 15 and dragged down by the punter Sepulveda at the 9. 52-yard punt, 47-yard return.
Steve Mariucci said it on the pregame show. He said, I wouldn't even kick it to Cribbs. I'd kick it into the sideline, and I completely agree. But this one, either by design or by wind, gets right down the middle of the field, and Cribbs shows you why he's one of the most dangerous guys in the league.
Matt, sometimes just the fact that he misplayed it at first kind of messes up the team coming down for coverage. So now Cleveland gets the special teams play they need, and they have it first and goal. Chris Jennings in a tailback. Jennings stood up after a gain of 1. Ryan Clark got the early surge.
We're just talking to Ryan Clark last night. He was just telling us how much they miss Troy Polamalu. But he said, hey, listen, Troy's not playing. We have to take it upon ourselves. He said, you know, people would ask me, do we miss Troy? I'd say, no, not really. He said, I was lying.
So I lied to the Pittsburgh media.
Yeah.
Second and goal. Quinn gets it off to the 5, and then Jennings gets tackled on the spot. There is a flag on the play as well.
Late flag. Looks like it's going to be a hold here.
Preliminary call is on Cleveland.
You can't waste this opportunity if you're the Cleveland Browns. Cribbs delivered it.
Holding. Offense number 73.
That's Joe Thomas, and he was working on Harrison. He's pleading his case. Let's take a good look to see what he's got. See Harrison 92, and Joe Thomas gets his hands on him, forces him up the field, and they're going to call that right there. You know what that is? That's the old Howie Long move. And Howie Long must have gotten, I can't tell you how many holding calls from that, but you get your hand on the top shoulder, and as a defender, you leave it there, and it looks like you're hooking the guy.
Pretty smart play by Harrison. So now second and goal. Quinn in traffic, nearly picked off. Ooh. The pass intended for Massaquoi.
And Clark was there, Woodley was there, Massaquoi was there, but Mohamed Massaquoi is a young player who's got a big upside, and you're going to run a crossing route, and crossing routes take a lot of time, and you can see how he was being tracked coming down. Ryan Clark, number 25. Boy, Woodley was on the outside. Looked like he may have gotten there a little early.
No flag in the play. Cleveland, all their third down attempts have been 9 or more yards. This will be a third and goal. And Quinn does not, they get the timeout before the delay of game. So with 3:54 to go, Cleveland gets the timeout, facing a third and goal from the 18.
Cribbs not in. Tight end is the guy he'd probably be looking for, and that's going to go against the Steelers right there.
James Farrier will get called for the penalty on Pittsburgh.
That's a smart move right there. I thought it looked like maybe Joe Thomas.
Defense number 51. 5-yard penalty. Makes third down.
When Farrier jumped inside, he just reached out and touched him with his hand. And that'll ensure the fact that it'll be on the defense.
So 3:55 to go in the first. Third and goal for Brady Quinn and the Browns.
Two tights. You got Royal, and here's Evan right down there. Evan Moore.
Quinn with time in the flat off the hands of Robert Royal, and incomplete.
Now this is something right here. This is the situation that Cleveland did not want to be able to get it. Cribbs gave him a package complete with a beautiful bow. You cannot waste that opportunity. You needed 6 there. You're going to have to settle for 3, but you wasted a 6-point opportunity.
Dawson's only missed this year from 43, but blustery conditions. This will be from 30. Reggie Hodges to hold. Snap is good. Well, despite the lousy conditions, the cold and wind, Hardy Browns fans.
This is football weather.
Cleveland Browns football weather. It's Pittsburgh Steelers football weather.
It is. This is what it's supposed to be. When you're a kid, you look, you see the breath coming out, and you know, the cold and all that stuff. I love that stuff.
Of course, you're not in the stands right now. You're here in a nice toasty booth.
You know what? That's a great point, because here's the bottom line. It's colder for the people in the stands than it is for the guys in the field, because at least they're running around playing.
Dawson to kick off into the wind. Moore. That's a live ball. Takes it out across the numbers. Roethlisberger sacked twice on 3rd downs. Willie Parker and a tailback as Hines Ward goes in motion. From the Steelers 23. Pass dropped in the flat by David Johnson. Well, Ben Roethlisberger said, hey, look, I've got to get my team and take them on their back, and trying to get the guys going a little bit here.
Well, and that's exactly what he's saying, because here he has credibility right there, because they know he can make a big play. If you give him some time, he's going to make a big play.
And this is the best starting field position so far for Pittsburgh. They start at the 15 and at their own 6. Second and 10. They'll throw again. Hines Ward makes the catch and picks up 9.
Well, there's a tough sucker right there, Hines Ward. You know, we just talking about him last night, talking to him, talking to Mike Tomlin, the head coach. He said, look, this is a rare individual. This is a guy, don't ever count him out. And we watch him, just watching him run there. He's taking little baby steps. He's afraid to really extend that leg with the hamstring, but he's playing, and he knows how to play. He's a tough sucker.
Well, Mike Tomlin said Hines always finds a way. I've seen him deal with a lot of different medical things over the years. And he's always willing to go. Steelers were in shotgun on 3rd and 1 last time. This time, they've got Mendenhall in a tailback. And Mendenhall plows ahead. It looks like he has just enough for the first down. It's going to be close. It's
close. Look at that here. Always watch that guy in the top. Once he gets his hand up there and he marks, that's when marks forward progress. That looks like he's short ski.
Now the head linesman from the near side looked like he had it spotted for a first down. So Ron Winter's going to call for a measurement.
You know, our yellow line is not official, but it's pretty darn accurate. You see Ron Winter with his hands in his pocket and red face. Yeah, he's cold.
So the Steelers tried passing on a 3rd and 1 the last time. This time they try to run it, and they are inches short.
See what Mike Tomlin said.
What are you going to do here now?
Yeah, I think Mike Tomlin's going to go for it. You're the defending world champion, and you like your offensive line, and you want to give it a little bit of confidence and give it to your team. And if you're supposed to be a tough physical team, go prove it.
Talked about the fight that his team has to have, not just in the games, but during practice. Hey, your quarterback's 252 pounds.
You got a good offensive line. And hey, this is for both sides. Also, right now for the Cleveland Browns, make it personal. Turn it into a fight right here. Low man wins. We don't see enough of this in pro football.
Roethlisberger keeps it.
Ooh, that's going to be close.
Now, it looks like they have it spotted across the 33, and that's good enough for a first down. You see the head linesman on the near side, and it is a first down.
And that's the last bastion in pro football for toughness, is short yardage and goal line, because you don't see it. You don't see a lot of it anymore. And Ben Roethlisberger takes his 252 pounds and follows the rear end of his lineman. And like I said, low man wins.
And Justin Hartwig, the center, got really low to create that little seam for Roethlisberger. He'll throw on first down. Got hit, middle of the field, intended for Holmes, and it's incomplete. Cameron Wembley got pressure on Roethlisberger.
Wembley got himself pressure, but Eric Wright on the outside working on Antonio Holmes. He's just locking up man-to-man. Now Holmes can run, and a little bit of a double move. Wright doesn't go for it. Now he gets on his horse. Had a chance. It was a middle field safety. Now watch Wembley coming off the top. See right there working against Starks against 78. That's pretty good. He got him up high, got him off bounce, and then came back inside with power.
2nd and 10 as Ward takes a seat. Roethlisberger's going to run it.
That's smart by Ben.
Lowers his shoulder and dives ahead near the first down to the 44, and he's got it.
You know why I said it's smart is because he recognized the coverage. It was man under, 2 deep. And when you have that, you have the defender's backs to you. He recognized it right away. And you're going to see you're going to get locked up all the way across. Man to man, there's man, 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 man. And you can see the 2 guys over the top. But what that means is your defenders, your rear ends are turned to the quarterback. He sees that. There's nothing but green once you get past the O-line.
Longest run for the Steelers. With a wide receiver screen. Holmes has a first down at the Cleveland 44. It's a gain of 12 on the play.
And they came with a blitz on the inside. That's smart by Roethlisberger. Get rid of the ball fast. And Bruce, you see Bruce Arians over there with his IHOP menu in front of his face, calling those things out. But you know, you start talking about players and their toughness, and you can see Heath Miller there, 83, but 86, Heinz Ward with the bad wheel, he don't care. He's a football player. Goes and does his job. Know and do your job. You do that, you got a chance.
Willie Parker slips through a hole and takes it to the 38-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Robert Smith tripped him up. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Cleveland with a 3-0 lead on Phil Dawson. 30-yard field goal.
And quietly, the Pittsburgh Steelers have taken it personally, and they just are marching the ball down the field. This is what they have to do consistently.
Needed a 4th and inches to do it. Ward gets plastered by Eric Wright.
Good read by Wright. Saw it coming right from the start.
Loss of 3 on the play. And that'll be the final play of quarter number 1. Beautiful look at Cleveland, Ohio. NFL Red Zone, the new channel from NFL Network, has changed Sunday afternoons forever. NFL Red Zone takes viewers from game to game for the best moments as they happen live in HD. Every touchdown from every game, you see all the drives, all the exciting plays. It is a must. Cleveland was in the red zone tonight, but they had to settle for a field goal. So we start the second quarter with the Steelers facing a 3rd and 7.
They're outnumbered down here. You got 4 versus 3 defensively.
Play clock down to 2. Roethlisberger under pressure, and he'll get sacked again. That's Marcus Bernard, a rookie out of Jackson State. King Kong, they call him.
Yeah, from Adrian, Michigan. Nobody touches him. He just comes off the edge untouched. You're going to see Colin 74 goes down inside. You should stay big on big. They don't. And old King Kong, he comes in and gets himself 3rd sack of the night.
First sack of his career. Sepulveda to punt again into the wind. Cribbs will watch it roll, and it'll come to rest at the 11-yard line. 37-yard punt. They keep the ball away from Cribbs. Got a 47-yard. All right, so Pittsburgh went for it on a 4th and inches. They converted from their own territory. Roethlisberger's been sacked, though, 3 times in his football game. All on 3rd downs. Pittsburgh has dropped 4 in a row. They're at 6-6 now. Matt, they're fighting for their playoff lives. as the defending Super Bowl champions when you take a look at the AFC picture. And it's a team that just, when you watch them, there seems to be just a little something missing.
They're out of sync. And this is not the start that obviously that they wanted, but more than that. Forget the points. They're just not playing well. You can't give up 3 sacks and not even account for anybody at the line of scrimmage. Rob Ryan's giving them some Dick LeBeau. That's what he's giving them.
Harrison, flag on the play. They're going to get a face mask on Woodley as Harrison picked up 5 on the play. We're going to tack some more onto that.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 56. 15-yard penalty and a first down.
And it's not even close. He got a good old handful of face on this one. You watch Harrison right there. Yeah, he got him. Doesn't matter if you get off it. Once it's had, it's had. They changed that rule just a few years ago.
So they're all 15 yards. So Woodley gets flagged to the 15. Cribbs in the Wildcat.
Rule number 1, don't beat yourself. That's what Pittsburgh's doing right now.
Cribbs trying to find a cutback lane in space. Needs a block. Gets one. A small part of one from Brady Quinn. And he's dropped at the 49.
Well, remember what we said. This is what they try to do. They said we have to take away, the Pittsburgh Steelers said, we have to take away Josh Cribbs. He's their #1 gun. The problem with Cribbs, you don't know where he's going to be. He's all over the place. Nice block right there by Harrison. And then Quinn just stalking down the field.
Trying to get on William Gay. A little more space.
Well, he loves the weight room, but he better not go in the weight room after blocking like that. He better flatten some people with that bench.
So that's a little overblown about all his weightlifting. And here he's going to get the weight of some Steelers on his back. Sacked by Lamar Woodley as he gets his 9th sack of the season. It's a loss of 6.
Again, then there's what you're going to do. You're going back to numbers again. And so here comes Lamar Woodley off the edge, who, if he had it his way, he'd try to blitz every stinking time. He loves to bring pressure off the edge. Vickers that time, he got himself in trouble. He stepped up and gave the edge, and by the time he got out, he's past it.
Second and 16 as Quinn works over center. Screen, and Woodley is right there to tackle Harrison. No gain on the play.
And that's a nice break. Woodley just dropped in zones. He's reading it right away. And then as soon as he sees the ball thrown, it's the break down and tackle for the short gain.
So Cleveland faces another 3rd and long. 3rd and 16. They're 1 for 4. All their third downs have been 9 or more yards. Pass nearly intercepted by Woodley as he tried to find Harrison in the flat.
Well, Woodley had himself a nice series right here. These last 3 plays, it's all him.
Yeah, after the penalty, did all right.
Yeah, this time they're just going to bring, again, they're bringing an extra man, and then he just has the presence to get his hands up. They were going to dump that thing out to Harrison and let him use his speed to get in that lane, but Woodley, with the great awareness, knocks the thing down.
Hodges in the punt. As the wind at his back. 2 men back for the Steelers. Logan lets it bounce inside the 10. Rolls sideways, and Cleveland will down it.
And it's just going into this series, the Cleveland Browns have played pretty darn good defense. Rob Ryan's been dialing up some nice calls.
Mendenhall in a 1-back set. Will take the handoff. Gets hit, picks up a yard or 2, and that's about it. Well, so far, Matt, the Cleveland Browns have shown that fire and that spunk. They have a 3-0 lead. They've won the battle of field position. They got the big punt return from Chris. How much is the weather affecting what these teams are trying to do?
Well, I think it is a factor because you're not seeing any balls really being pushed down the field. That's one thing. The second thing, I think, is you're seeing a lot of man-to-man on both sides, and they're bringing numbers because the intermediate game is what they're trying to hit.
After a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for the Steelers. They'll run it again to Mendenhall. gets to the 11, and then David Bowen's got the first hit on him. And then Corey Williams and Cameron Wembley helped clean it up along with Brian Schafering.
Yeah, that's good job by that Browns. And keep in mind, they play the old two-gap system. It's a 34 scheme, and those 3 down guys, you have to be powerful. And you got to come off, and you got to handle a gap to your right and to your left, and it requires a lot of strength.
All 3 sacks of Roethlisberger have come on 3rd downs.
They're locked up man-to-man again.
Santonio Holmes can't grab it. Eric Wright on the coverage. And the Steelers will punt again.
This Eric Wright's turning in a good first half right now. Just a good job. He can walk up, and he knows he has Holmes, and he jumps his coverage right away. They came with a blitz to the inside. You saw him come. And then the ball has to come out quick, so you jump your coverage quick.
You know, Pittsburgh's failures on the 3rd downs, they've all been 7 yards or less. So Colvin punting into the wind. Cribbs will just let it come to rest. Give it off to the inside to Harrison, and he picks up 2. Lawrence Timmons on the tackle. Well, Pittsburgh, we talked about the games that they have not been able to hold the lead. Only team in the league that has not allowed a touchdown on a drive that started in their territory in 10 opportunities. And this is very important for Cleveland, Matt. They've controlled their field position and everything else. They need to get some points.
They got the wind at their back right now. They can try to take a shot down the field. Let's see if they do it.
Harrison.
Oh, what a nice play.
Upended by James Harrison.
That was really well done by James Harrison. Yeah, there's 3 points in the running game that you always have. One is the contact point. Boom, right there. Then it's control. See the control? And then it's a release point. All 3 of those things Harrison did to perfection right there. You get in at the contact, you gain control of the defender, then release them and make the play. Good stuff.
This is the shortest 3rd down attempt for Cleveland, 3rd and 8. And we get a whistle and a flag. And a false start.
False start.
On
Offense
Cleveland.
number 89. 5-yard
Evan Moore
penalty.
called for the penalty, so
Base 3rd
scratch
down.
that shortest 3rd down attempt, and now it's another one of 9+.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Cleveland couldn't do. This is an opportunity. You got the wind at your back. You have good field position. You move the ball just a little, take a little baby step. Now they're going backwards.
Brian Robisky split out to the top of your screen.
Here's Robisky up here. Massaquoi down here.
Third and 13. Massaquoi with the catch and run on Ike Taylor. Tackle from behind at the 14-yard line by Ryan Clark.
And most important there, Umberto, they had great pickup. They brought 5, and the ball came out quick. Brady Quinn makes a quick decision. He sees that the corner is bailing, gives him a soft corner, and look at the nice catch. Massaquoi going back with that body awareness and picks up a huge first down for them.
The rookie out of Georgia picks up 37. Harrison picks up about 3 on the play.
You know, Bob,
Tyrone Carter on the tackle.
if you want to play physical football, then you want to be a fullback in the National Football League. And Vickers, here number 47, the fullback for the Cleveland Browns, this is his type of game. Because he's going against some good linebackers, and this is a game when you bloody your nose, and you're happy about it. That last play, he had himself a nice shot right in the kisser, and he's going to keep on delivering.
From the 12, 2nd and 7. Quinn with time. Quinn for Vickers, and he overthrew him. Carter on the coverage.
Yeah, that's what you do. You pound, and then you take your fullback, seemingly leading on the backer, and he slips him. And he tries to get down into that void, and they just missed him. But that was a well-designed play.
And Vickers had words for a couple members of the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
But Quinn had the play there.
It was there. You can't miss, though. It's an opportunity miss. You can't do that.
Big 3rd and 13 conversion of Massaquoi for 37 yards. key play on this drive. 3rd and 8. Quinn back of the end zone for more, and he overthrew him incomplete as Quinn took a shot.
Tough to throw against. That's quarter coverage. Remember, quarter coverage, they're dividing the deep into 4 separate parts. And then essentially, if you get a vertical outside, it turns into man-to-man. And that's exactly what happened. They tried to hit more. They locked it up man outside. And he throws it away. And actually, that's not a bad decision. Instead of trying to force it, give yourself a chance for 3.
Hodges to hold. Dawson will try from 30. Snap is good.
If you have any hopes salvaging your season, it started at the start of this game.
Joe Burnett takes the short kickoff and gets tripped up. Well, back in Cleveland, the Browns with a 6-0 lead over the Steelers. You take a look at the longest current winning streaks. Steelers have beaten the Browns 12 times, tied with the Patriots over the Bills. Chargers have beaten the Raiders 13 times. And Matt, Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've had bad field position most of the night. Haven't been able to convert 3rd downs. He's been sacked 3 times. Pittsburgh's got to get their offense going. He'll throw on 1st down. And wide open is Heath Miller, the tight end. And he gets upended after a gain of 9 by Eric Wright.
You know, keep in mind, the last time these two teams played, Heath Miller had a monster game.
5 catches, 80 yards.
And he's one of those guys who can move the chains. He's one of the more he might be the most underrated tight end in the National Football League. He's an outstanding player, but as poor as they've played, the Steelers to this point, they're 1 play away from taking the lead.
Running off from the inside to Mendenhall, and he's got a 1st down, tripped up at the 42 after a gain of 7.
Now, all that being said, the story for the first 24 minutes of this game has been that man right there, Rob Ryan and his defense. Keep in mind, they're playing with a lot of guys who are in different positions or weren't even on the team, and he has them playing. And you can see a difference with Rob Ryan's in control of this defense right now. At the start of the season, I didn't think so. It was a little more conservative, but right now, this is him.
But the Steelers are 1 play away, a big play away from taking the lead. Roethlisberger, trouble with the snap, and he's going to lose 2 back to the 40-yard line.
It looked like he couldn't get the grip on there. You can see Hartwig kind of pulled and the ball just popped up. Now, keep in mind, he's got gloves on. It looks like he started to pull out maybe a little too soon. But he finally found the handle, sets up this 2nd and 12.
Said as a rookie, as a young player, he took a lot of heat, but now it's commonplace. As he said, look, Kurt Warner's wearing him in a dome.
Well, he likes it because it gives him a better grip when the weather gets cold. That ball gets a little slick. He feels like he can spin it a little bit better.
2nd and 12. Roethlisberger will get sacked for the 4th time. Corey Williams gets his 2nd of the night.
They are mauling this offensive line. This is a zone. This is zone. They're playing to cover 3 behind it. And then they're just going to end up, see how they're walking people around, which forces you to have to be able to account for everybody. And all you need when this happens is just a hesitation. And you can see they just let Williams alone, and he came through and forces this big 3rd down.
3rd and 19. 5 minutes to go in the half. Browns drop everybody in coverage.
They're giving you the underneath.
Roethlisberger sacked for the 5th time. And Marcus Bernard, King Kong, gets his 2nd of the night.
Ain't no King Kong Bundy. That's King Kong Bernard. I want you to take a look at this coverage. They gave the underneath completely away. Look, here's the stick up top, and they're just going to line right across. It's essentially a 3D, but they're giving all this up. And it really didn't matter because Bernard is able to get there as the flag goes down.
Ball is fumbled and turned over by Cleveland at the 45, but back at the punt, there was a hold against Pittsburgh. Arnold Harrison, the former Steeler, was coming in for a block, and it looked like he got held. So hold everything here on the turnover.
Yeah, Ron Winter is he's gonna call this thing back. You see him talking to Josh Cribbs there and the Cleveland Browns.
Arnold Harrison, the former Steeler, came in and was
Holding.
held.
23 of kicking team.
Oh, that's huge.
After this to the goal. Repeat. 4th down.
Tyrone Carter called for the penalty on the former Steeler, Harrison, who was signed on November 18th. Right side of your screen,
Here
you
he
see
comes,
Harrison
right
come
there.
in.
Yeah, and he hooked him.
Good old-fashioned
Got him up
takedown.
high. And they called it. There you see, gets up around the throat. And Ron Winter was looking right at it, and that's his job. His job is to see across through the punter, and he picked it up.
Special teams coach Brad Seeley.
That's a monster right there.
Sure. It was a Pittsburgh ball in Cleveland territory. Sepulveda to punt again. Cribbs. That's it. Bounce, and Pittsburgh will down it at the 41-yard line. After a 42-yard punt, another flag on the play.
Looked like that was Bubba Ventrone going into the locker room there.
So Ron Winter asking his entire crew, what do you got? A huddled group discussion. The best way to stay warm is when you gather a lot of people around.
Yeah, that little man huddle right there.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 51 of the receiving team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Alex Hall, and that's not very bright.
Because that negates good field position for Cleveland rather than starting at the 41.
And if you see what Pittsburgh's done ever since of that Josh Cribbs return, they're kicking it into the sidelines. And they're going to just rely on their defense. And they may not get a 50-yard punt. They may get a 35-yard punt, but they keep it out of his hands.
So a couple big swings here. The penalty against Carter after Cleveland turned over the punt that would have given Pittsburgh the ball in Cleveland territory. Then Cleveland commits a penalty that pushes them back to the 26. So it's a net of 57 yards on the punt with the penalty. Royal in motion. Cribbs on the direct snap, bounces off the Carter tackle. Then Carter gathers and gets him down at the 32. Brett Kiesel also on the tackle after a gain of 6.
You know, the thing with Josh Cribbs, he's not your average, he's not your average returner. He's a big man. He's 215 to 220 pounds. And, a couple times you just see the guy on Sports Center or something like that, or NFL Access or Total Access. You see these returners. He doesn't look like a real big man, but he is a big man. He's a thick sucker.
Second down. Quinn. Massaquoi, it's incomplete.
Didn't look like Massaquoi was ready. No, we already said it, Bob. This is a playoff game right now.
Cribbs on the direct snap. He's got the 1st down. Works on Carter. Keeps his feet. Runs out of another tackle. And takes it all the way to the 30-yard line.
Well, they said they wanted to be able to take away their main knockout punch, and that's Josh Cribbs. But guess what? Cribbs has a different idea. He's going to watch Vickers right there. Nice block.
And Farrier couldn't get him down.
Steinbach has himself one. That's poor tackling and strong running by Josh Cribbs. See Steinbach in the middle of that thing, and everybody's getting in the act. It's been the Josh Cribbs show here in the first half.
When was the last time you've seen a Steeler team tackle as poorly?
It's funny you say that. I was talking with Coach Madden just a couple nights ago, and we were talking about good tackling teams, and the Pittsburgh Steelers is the one team that we talked about, and that was not good tackling.
And that 37-yard run, the longest run by a Brown this season. Jennings in at tailback. Played in Montreal last year, the CFL. And he gets run out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Picks up 8 on the play.
This kid right here, this Chris Jennings, he's got something. And he played in Canada. He's a rookie. He's got some speed. What he doesn't have right yet is a feel, what a real hole in the National Football League is. Sometimes his bailout position is to try to get the edge, which you saw right there.
He was a college walk-on at Arizona, played in the CFL, getting a shot with Cleveland. Get another shot right here. Takes it near the 20, right near the first down marker. We're talking about all these guys. Bernard, King Kong with 2 sacks. Chris Jennings, Eric Mangini told us yesterday, look, our team is like Ellis Island. We're the land of opportunity. Come here and we'll give you a chance to prove yourself. Right now, with 2 minutes to go in the first half, they're proving him right. Cleveland with their shortest third down attempt. 3rd and 1. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Twins going to keep it, get the first down to the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cleveland from the 19. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Jennings gets 9. Carter on the tackle.
Really well blocked inside. Boy, Mack, the rookie, number 55, did himself a good job. They came with a blitz. It was picked up across the board. And then Jennings just picks his way through. This is how you find a hole in the National Football League. You look for the green. There's Steinbach right there. Just a really good job of getting a person on a person.
Alex Mack, 21st pick in the draft out of California. 2nd and 1. Jennings turns the corner. Jennings, touchdown! It's the first rushing touchdown by a Cleveland running back this season.
And it couldn't have come at a better time. If you're a Cleveland Brown fan, you couldn't afford to waste another opportunity into the red zone. And so Jennings just gets on his horse and gets to an edge. Outruns Farrier and watch him finish. Ooh, I don't know about that.
We're under 2 minutes to go in the half. It would be a booth review.
It has to be. The ball has to cross the plane. Let's see. I don't think that's a score. I don't think that's a score. The ball has to cross the plane. His foot hit the pylon. That's fine. But the ball is outside and does not cross the plane.
The ruling on the field was a touchdown, but Matt, did Jennings get in? Stays in bounds.
He stays in bounds. You're going to see the foot right there is in bounds, but the ball has to cross inside that pylon.
That's a change in the rule.
Yeah.
It used to be that the pylon, the goal line extended around the world. In Jennings' case, I think it ends in Montreal.
In Montreal.
There's in bounds there.
Yeah, and I was on the competition committee for a few years, and this is one of the rules we had. And I'll tell you the reason it was. There was a play a few years back with Michael Vick, and he dove. It was an awesome athletic play, but he had the ball in the right hand, and his left hand crossed over the plane, and they called it a touchdown. They changed it because of that.
That's where the touchdown. They ruled a touchdown.
And we never heard why.
Ron Winter's Mike suffering frostbite. But Eric Mangini and the Browns now with a 12-0 lead. One more look at it.
It's in bounds right there. His foot hits.
Because the inside of his foot hit the pylon?
I didn't hear the that's a big score, though. That's a big score. Like we said earlier, that was their 3rd trip down there. They had to come away with something more than 3, and they got it.
So Pittsburgh down 13-0. As every Steeler told us yesterday when we met with them, and Mike Tomlin, our playoffs are underway now at 6-6, having lost 4 in a row. Last time a defending Super Bowl champion lost 5 in a row. You have to go back to 1987 when the New York Giants lost 5 in a row. 3 of those were replacement games. Dawson to kick off. Short kick. Muwelde Moore trying to find some room. Moore tackled at the 33-yard line. Ramsey Robinson on the tackle. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers, having lost 4 in a row, the first team since 1998, the Denver Broncos, who got off to a 12-0 start, that did not trail by more than 7 points in their first 12 games of the season. So the Steelers, for the first time this year, are down by more than 7. It's 13-0, 33 seconds to go. Steelers have 3 timeouts. And they will get the ball to start the third. Roethlisberger, middle of the field, completes it to the 40-yard line to Hines Ward, a gain of 8. And Pittsburgh will use their first timeout. Well, Ben Roethlisberger, for his career, has known nothing but success when playing the Cleveland Browns. Otto Graham is 12-0 against the Cardinals, the great Hall of Famer for the Browns. John Elway 10-0 against the Patriots.
Another Hall of Famer.
And Ben Roethlisberger with 2 Super Bowls, 10-0 against the Browns. But right now he's on the short end of a 13-0 score.
Well, and they've really, this Brown defense has really gotten after him here in this first half. They've just had a plethora of sacks.
5 punts, 5 sacks allowed. 2nd and 3. Roethlisberger trying to buy time. This is where he's most effective, and he does. Santonio Holmes to the 35-yard line. There is a flag on the play as well, in the vicinity of holding. Personal foul is the call against Cleveland. Marcus Bernard hit him in the knee.
He's going to take off and start to run. He's going to throw, and that's
weak. Got him in the thigh, man.
That's weak. And I know we got to protect our quarterbacks, but
it is a little late though, man. With the way the rules are right now.
I guess I must be missing something.
You know, Bowens was right on his back, but then it was Bernard who came in low. So Pittsburgh trying to get points here near the end of the half and salvage this first half down 13. Roethlisberger, Ward dropped it at the 14.
This is what we were talking about earlier, because with what Roethlisberger can do. And yeah, they've been getting sacked. He's been giving up sacks, but all it takes is one play. And that big play when he took off and ran and was able to find Holmes down the left side. That's the kind of big stuff we're talking about.
And then you get the tacked-on penalty, because remember, Pittsburgh is going into the win. 2nd and 10. 2 timeouts for the Steelers. 12 seconds to go in the half. Roethlisberger, Holmes inside the 10, 1st and goal Steelers at the 9, gain of 11.
Working on Brandon McDonald down there. Once you get him backed off, that ball, that's really hard to defend, because the ball is thrown before the break's ever made. Here's the break, the ball's in the air. McDonald had run off, and he'd run out, and that's you're not going to defend that.
So Pittsburgh trying to answer the Cleveland touchdown. Drive started at their own 33. Miller goes in motion and comes set. Roethlisberger off the hands of Miller and incomplete. with 2 seconds to go.
Well, he had the protection, and he had Miller, the usually sure-handed Miller, and they're just, all it is, he's just coming back. It's almost the old arrow play. You're going to get the outside by body position. Adams gives up the inside. They try to take advantage of it, but they'll set up this 2-second field goal try by Reed.
Reed from 27. To get Pittsburgh on the board. Snap is high, they get it down, and Reed knocks it through. Time to take a look at the first half game summary presented by Kay Jewelers. And you see Ben Roethlisberger has been sacked 5 times in this game. Cleveland has over 100 yards rushing in the first half, and they have a 10-point lead. As we welcome you back to our Thursday Night Football booth here on NFL Network. Bob Papa along with Matt Millen. All right, Pittsburgh started the year 6-2. They've lost 4 in a row. They're at 6-6. Matt, we know about their defensive struggles, but what's happened to their offense?
Well, I don't know if it's so much about their offense as much as it's about the Cleveland Brown defense. I want to ask you people a question right now. You're sitting at home, you're watching this game. Who's playing playoff football? I'll tell you who it is in the first half. It's the Cleveland Browns. They are kicking mucho dupa. And the way they're doing it is up front.
Where do you get this?
I don't know. It just showed up. But just like this Brown defense showed up, they're coming off the edge. They're giving them numbers. Rob Ryan has them playing great football. That's how you're supposed to play. And the Steelers, that's not how you're supposed to play with your playoff and season on the line.
Yeah, for Pittsburgh, let's face it, as you mentioned, their playoff started with the opening kickoff. Ben Roethlisberger sacked 5 times. Cleveland with 5 first-half sacks. It's the first time they've had that many sacks in a first half since a game against the Jets in 2004. They've allowed Cleveland to run the football for over 100 yards in the first half, and they've given up the first rushing touchdown by a Cleveland running back this season, as Mewelde Moore will try to give Pittsburgh a start with the wind at their back here to start the third quarter.
Now, if there's one bright spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is that they were able to stick some points on the board before the half.
Well, right now there are teams in Miami, New York, Baltimore, Jacksonville, and even Tennessee that have to be at least moderately happy with the first half results.
Oh, there's a lot of interested eyeballs in this one. They got clearly the Cleveland Browns are playing like it's personal. And that's what you want to see. That's what you make it personal. You turn it into a fight. And then it becomes a battle of the wills. And that's where we're at right now.
Ramsey Robinson will hold for Dawson. Moore bobbles it. It's a live ball. Moore tripped up after 12.
Hey, Bob, I just wanted to go back and straighten out the touchdown run so I could explain exactly why it's a touchdown. Remember I told you about the Michael Vick play? Well, this was how we finished that discussion. As long as the runner is continuing the run, the ball can be outside. But if he leaves his feet from there, if he were to leave his feet and dive, then the ball would have to be inside the pylon. But because he's carrying and he's upright and he's running, the ball can be outside.
And his foot hit the pylon.
And it was 6.
And it was a touchdown. And he dove and the ball was outside. Different story. No place for Mendenhall to go. Matt Roth got the original penetration to slow him up.
Yeah, this all goes back to your starting field position, and they had awful field position from the start with the fumble and Mewelde Moore. Put him here, and then it's up to your defense to take the thing over, and that's Matt Roth.
Mendenhall 9 carries for 27 yards. Roethlisberger 7 of 12 for 70.
Rob Ryan he's been playing on the edge because he's been matching up man-to-man and bringing numbers.
You hear the wind gusting as Roethlisberger will throw. Santonio Holmes to the 20. And gets tackled by Windley. Well, you know, we talked about Rob Ryan and his defense, and he said, look, I'm looking for SAT guys. I said, well, what do you mean SAT guys? He said, smart, athletic, and tough is what we're looking for as defensive players. And he said, let's face it, we coaches didn't have to do well in the SATs to identify a good defensive player.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing we said. How are you defining that acronym? And he spit those out. Not the Scholastic Aptitude Test, that's for sure.
3rd and 2 for Pittsburgh. Mendenhall will get the first down to the 35. Good blocking up front. Brandon McDonald made the tackle.
You know, the same thing that the Browns have done in the first half is what the Steeler offensive line is going to have to do in the second half. They're going to have to turn this into a personal thing. You got to create your own personal body. As you look at Mendenhall on the sideline, it doesn't look like he's feeling too hot right there.
Well, we talked with Brian Cox, the defensive line coach for Cleveland, on the field. He said, hey, forget about schemes. This is, can I beat you in front of me consistently?
Yep, that's the attitude you have to take.
Billy Parker in at running back on a 1st and 10. Roethlisberger with time. What a catch by Holmes at the 44. Gain of 19.
Well, this is just all Antonio Holmes, and you're seeing him, and you know what? He's maturing in front of your eyes. He's getting better. He's running better routes. He's going attacking the ball. He's doing all those things. You heard Marshall Faulk on the pregame show. He was talking about the maturation of Santonio Holmes, and that was a great example.
Longest play of the night for Pittsburgh, 19 yards from the 44. Parker hit by Rubin and tackled after a gain of 5. Mendenhall really got shaken up on that 3rd and 2 run.
You know, atop of Rubin, number 71, the nose tackle, as he goes off the field. You know, last time these two teams played, he played pretty well. Now, they had Shawn Rogers at the time, and Shawn Rogers could be a huge difference maker. But Rubin is no slouch, and his best football is in front of him.
He's talking with defensive line coach Brian Cox. Spent the last 3 years with the Jets and Eric Mangini. Parker again. Can't slip out of the last tackle. Robert Smith got off a block, and Corey Williams to make the play.
And that Corey Williams has played himself a pretty good game. Now there's a guy who understands, Brian Cox, he understands the intensity. And he's teaching it to his young defensive line. There's Corey Williams, 99. See how he works off the block? It's outstanding play.
Mendenhall is checked back in for Pittsburgh on a 3rd and 4 from midfield. Ward in motion. Roethlisberger with time, middle of the field at the feet of Holmes, and incomplete. Out comes the punting unit for the Steelers. So that time Roethlisberger had time, but he couldn't connect with Holmes.
Yeah, and they continue to play good defense because there was good coverage. The ball was thrown down, and Holmes is going to have to go down and dig it out. But he threw that ball because Bowen's got his hands up and was able to kind of get in that throwing lane.
Short kick, bounces at the 20. Effective roll for Pittsburgh. Casey Hampton, you know, Ryan Clark told us tonight's a Casey Hampton kind of game. Hasn't really manifested itself in that way. Cleveland with a 10-point lead and the ball here in the 3rd. Good off for Jennings, gets a block from Vickers. Jennings with a first down, shouldered out by Ryan Clark and Lawrence Timmons.
You said it. That was Vickers and then Massaquoi on the outside. But this is just, hey, let's go back to intensity and let's go back to making it personal. Watch Vickers, boom, right there. And allows Jennings to get the edge. And then Massaquoi takes his guy into the sidelines. And I'm going to ask you the same question. Who's playing playoff football? Right now, it's the Cleveland Browns.
The 1-11 Browns against the defending Super Bowl champions. After a gain of 15, 1st and 10. Jennings again. Farrier jumped on him along with James Harrison after a gain of 4. You know, Eric Mangini has come under fire. He hired George Kokinis in the offseason to help him in the front office. That didn't work out. He was let go. He said, look, we have good cap space. We're trying to move forward. We want to extend guys. Alex Max wasn't a sexy pick, but by trading out of 5, it saved us $45 million. They have 11 draft picks. The question is, does he have enough support to get year number 2 here in Cleveland?
You got to give him a shot. What he's trying to do is hard to do.
Jennings on the carry.
But if
He
this
rolls forward for a first down.
Yeah, if this is any indication of how his team's play, of what his team's going to be, you want to stay with it. He has to get a baseline, and somebody has to come in and say, this is what we're going to be. This is what we stand for. And if you make a change, you're going to have to change the whole thing over again. And he has a baseline right now.
And he said, whether he's with Coach Parcells or Coach Belichick, you know, you need core type guys with our DNA. As the Browns will have a 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Jennings will run it again. Jennings,
nice,
no gain on the play. You know,
the other
Casey Hampton, you know, made the tackle, and you know, you take a look at Cleveland, and you know, one of the reasons why they're in this situation, 20 players selected in the first 3 rounds between 1999 when they came back in the league and 2004 are with the team. 11 of those players are no longer in the NFL. And then speaking to Mangini, with the 11 picks next year, you look at his jet draft with Nick Mangold and DeBrickashaw Ferguson and David Harris and Leon Washington and Darrelle Revis. I think they've got to give him a chance to execute his plan. Jennings to the outside, picks up a couple to the 44-yard line. He understands what it takes, but he needs a chance.
Yeah, and the other part of that is when you make a change, there's a change in philosophy. And with a change in philosophy means you want a certain type of player. Maybe it's a different offensive philosophy. Maybe it's a different defensive philosophy. And so you change your roster again. And you can't do that. You need consistency.
One thing Cleveland's doing right now, using a little bit of that no huddle. Not hurry up, but no huddle. 3rd and 5 from the 45. Stuckey goes in motion. Quinn with time, and nearly intercepted by Carter, looking for Stuckey.
Yeah, just man under and 2 deep. And what that does is it forces you to throw the ball high. Now, there was too much air under that ball. And Brady Quinn knew it when he threw it. He had a shot at it. You got to take less air on that throw.
But as Eric Mangini and Brian Daboll told us yesterday, you know, sometimes a punt's not a bad thing.
Exactly.
And they've changed field position. Remember, this drive started inside their own 15-yard line, going into the wind. Santonio Holmes in motion on a 1st and 10. Roethlisberger can't find Ward.
That was really good by Wright. Roethlisberger wanted to go to the short route right away, and Wright jumped his coverage, and he had to pull off it, and then he ends up throwing his thing outside. Look at Wright. See him come up. He takes Holmes away completely, and then he has him down below. He just can't quite get it.
In the last game, it was pump fakes galore as Roethlisberger threw for over 400 yards against Cleveland. Roethlisberger on a 2nd and 10 with Mendenhall in the 1-back. Mendenhall trying to find a cutback lane, gets some room, but then it's shut down at the 31-yard line by Cameron Wimbley. Gain of 3 on the play. Mendenhall 11 carries for 34 yards.
That's just good discipline across the front. He changes directions and cuts back, and Wimbley where he's supposed to be, Corey Williams where he's supposed to be. Watch, you're going to start to the right side, nothing there. Now he comes back. Now be where you're supposed to be. Nicely done outside by Wright again, forces it back in. Wimbley puts him down.
Pittsburgh 1 for 8 on 3rd down. They've only had 1 3rd down over 7 yards. This is a 3rd and 7, so they've been makeable. Roethlisberger's been sacked 5 times. Under pressure, make it 6.
And Bob, they went man-to-man again. Outstanding coverage, which allowed the 4-man rush to be able to get there. Right on the outside, number 20 does a nice job. I'm sorry, Adams, 20, right there. Good coverage. Look, everywhere you look, There's a receiver. There's a guy right on top. Look at right on top. He's played a heck of a game here tonight.
And then David Bowens gets his 5th sack of the season. Sack number 6. Sepulveda to the punt. Cribbs will get a chance. Takes it up to the 35. Browns lead it by 10 here in the 3rd. They'll start from their own 34. Jennings picks his way for about 3.
You talked about, the 6 sacks, and certainly they've gotten the pressure. They've come on 3rd down, but the guys who are really playing well here tonight is Mike Adams, Brandon McDonald, Poteet, Eric Wright, Abram Elam. That secondary has been outstanding because they've taken the challenge and they've gone man up for the majority of the time, and they've covered them all over the field.
And they're playing like the team that's fighting for a playoff spot.
Bingo. That's exactly what it looks like.
Cribbs in at the Wildcat on a 2nd and 7 for the Browns.
Oh, nice by Vickers.
But only a yard as Brett Kiesel made the tackle.
The other part has been because Rob Ryan really is calling the kind of game that we expected out of Dick LeBeau with all the different looks and all the numbers and the people at the line of scrimmage and the zone blitz, man blitz. He's called himself a heck of a game. Those SATs are working.
Between 5 and 8 yards, the Browns 0 for 1 tonight on 3rd downs. Here's a 3rd and 6. Quinn trying to find more, but not releasing time.
Yeah, but nice by Timmons. Timmons did a good job. He stayed on his coverage because there was time to throw. And Brady Quinn was able to look over the whole field, but Timmons stayed on his coverage. You're going to watch number 94. He's going to take, see right there, little nod, and then stays with them. Well done. All you players out there, young players, when you're in man-to-man, keep your eyes on the man. Don't go back to the quarterback. Timmons played it perfectly.
So 3 and out for the Browns. Hodges to punt. Santonio Holmes called for a fair catch. Well, Pittsburgh 6 and 6. Their playoffs started tonight. They're down by 10 here in the 3rd. They'll start from their own 27. Mendenhall finds a crease. Takes it up to the 33-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play.
So, Bob, we were talking about the tight coverage. And Cleveland has been covering the Steelers pretty well tonight. So what do? Offensively, there's 3 things you can do. You can go to motions. You can go to picks or rubs and bunch formation. And also you can move your quarterback around to buy time. That's what he does very, very well.
Steelers have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left with the wind at their back as it continues to swirl and howl with gusts between 25 and 30 miles per hour.
Bring him 5.
Roethlisberger bought some time. Heath Miller in the Browns territory and submarined at the 45-yard line. Gain of 22. McDonald on the tackle.
And Heath Miller had coverage by Bowens, and then Roethlisberger moves. And once you move, now watch Bowens. See, his eyes went back inside. That's what I was talking about earlier. When you're in man coverage, you watch the man. And then when he starts to move, that changes everything. That's what draws the eyes of a defender, is that movement.
Second biggest gain for the Steelers so far tonight. The Browns 45. Roethlisberger wide open as Mendenhall. Knocked down at the 28-yard line by Brandon McDonald, gain of 17.
This is a nice job by Roethlisberger to be able to look over the field and then dump it down underneath. Let's take a good look inside. Here's the protection. And he just surveys the field. You can see the zone sitting behind it. Dump it off to the short man.
Roethlisberger, 11 of 18, 138 yards. first down and completes it to the rookie, Mike Wallace, who makes his 31st catch of the season. First for the night, gain of 5.
Kid's got speed. This Mike Wallace, he's got a huge upside. And they're figuring out ways. They don't really know exactly how he fits in this offense yet, but he's got big-time speed down the field. He also understands body position, as you saw in that last one. McDonald had him covered. The ball was thrown inside. He used his body to shield it from the defender.
2nd and 5 for the Steelers. Approaching 1 minute to go in the third. Roethlisberger's going to tuck it down. He's going to get hit at the 25 and dropped at the 24.
That's man under 2 deep, and Roethlisberger sees that. He likes to take off. Remember earlier in the game he did it. Look at Brandon McDonald on Holmes on the outside. Nowhere to go. He knows he has safety help on the top side. Now watch it. Here's Mike Wallace underneath with the right. He stays on it. You see Hines Ward underneath. He's covered. And he sees that, so he likes to take off and run. Sets up a 3rd down.
7th sack of Roethlisberger.
Big play right here for the Steelers.
3rd and 6. Behind Ward, wants a flag, none. Brandon McDonald on the coverage.
Man again. Boy, Rob Ryan is saying, listen, I believe in you guys, and I'm going to prove it. You're going to line up, and you're going to cover these guys all over the field. There's Brandon McDonald again on Hines Ward. Taking away position. Hines wanted a flag, but he's entitled to that position.
So Jeff Reed will come on to try a 42-yard field goal with swirling winds. He has the wind at his back, but it's gusting and swirling here in Cleveland. Reed is set. Got it lined up, and he knocks it through.
That's an impressive coach. That Mike Tomlin, he's the real deal.
Mortar kick, live ball, Cribbs from the 5. Cribbs wrestled down at the 15-yard line with 3 seconds to go. Anthony Madison on the tackle for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that Mike Tomlin is a guy that from the day he took over, he was in charge, and they knew it. And he's one of those guys that all the players, they love playing for him. He's a player's coach, and he's a coach's coach. He's exactly what you need.
He said, listen, the pattern of behavior is leading to the pattern of results, and if we have to change some combinations, get some other personnel in there to get us out of this, I'm doing it. From the Cleveland 15, and what should be the final play of the third. Jennings, nothing. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers down by 7 as we start the 4th quarter. Pittsburgh getting a late field goal at the end of the first half and 1 in the 3rd quarter. Here on a cold night in Cleveland, 14 degrees, feels like 10 below with the wind chill, and the winds have gust. Cleveland will have the ball at their back to start this 4th quarter. Bob Popple along with Matt Millen. So glad you can join us for Thursday Night Football. And Matt, you know what? It's beautiful. We got the open booth. Great night for football. Great environment. Great rivalry. And what a game.
Can't beat it. This is what it's supposed to be like. And so right now, this lead, this 7-point, as well as Cleveland has played, it's 1 play away from being tied up.
2nd and 10 to start the 4th. Quinn trying to throw the out to Stuckey, and it goes incomplete.
Not on the same page. Not on the same page. You got the wind at your back, and you got to get on the same page. And now is the time when champions become what they're supposed to be. And so if you're Chancey Stuckey and you're working this thing right here, you got to be on the same page.
Brady Quinn in this ball game, 5 of 17 for 81 yards. Cleveland will try their 7th third down attempt of over 9 yards. They're 2 for 6.
Now here's that walk-around defense, trying to give you different looks.
Play clock at 1. Quinn just gets it off. Has Cribbs short of the first down. Nice tackle made by Deshae Townsend, a yard short of the sticks.
But nicely done right here by this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Knowing where the sticks are, let him throw it underneath, make a sure tackle. That's what they weren't doing in the first half. You can feel a little bit, and there's an uneasiness in the crowd right now, like, hey, let's not waste this great effort.
Santonio Holmes back deep, Hodges to punt. Not a deep kick. Holmes from the 35. Holmes tackled. So the bad news for Steeler fans, it's only happened twice. The good news, it's the team you're playing tonight.
Well, let's see if this Brown defense can continue their coverage and sack game that they've put in place from the start to now.
7 sacks for Cleveland tonight, their most since 2002, and they had 8 against Houston. Roethlisberger, Santonio Holmes wide open in Cleveland territory, tackled by White and Furry at the 44.
Nicely done by Santonio Holmes. Going to be working outside right there, and he's working against a safety. That's Mike Furry, who's a safety slash receiver. And Furry is the guy you want to be able to get to because A, he's not familiar with playing defense all that much, and B, he's a safety. And you always want to get speed on the safety.
From the Cleveland 44. 1st and 10 Pittsburgh. Mendenhall to the 41, picks up 3. Cleveland Browns offensive line have done a pretty good job tonight, rushing for over 100 yards as a team. We want to welcome those of you joining us on NFL.com Live. Welcome to NFL Network's Thursday Night Football. You can log on now to NFL.com/live for enhanced coverage of tonight's game.
Now, the one thing that Cleveland offensive line has been running the ball pretty good. He got over himself 100 yards, but this Pittsburgh offensive line, I expected to see more out of Mendenhall in this offensive line, and we haven't seen it.
Mendenhall, 13 carries, 43 yards. On the play fake, Roethlisberger.
Oh, great cover.
Looking for the home run ball for Holmes. Incomplete, but there's a flag on the play.
It's going to be underneath on Hines Ward. And it's going to be going against Mike Adams. They came in the bunch. Remember we said there's things you can do. Bunch package is one of them. And what you try to do when you're in bunch is jump that coverage. But at one point you have to release it.
Holding. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty and a first down.
And that is Mike Adams called for the penalty.
Now I want you to show you. I'm going to show you the bunch first. Here's the bunch package. Now he's going to jump right on top, and that's okay. You can get your hat on him, then you have to let him go. Watch it right down in here, see? And there's the coverage all across the field. Everybody's covered again, but there's the flag right there.
6th penalty on Cleveland. First down for Pittsburgh. At the 36, Mendenhall can't squeeze through the hole, gets 2, and that's it. Brian Schafering, first-year player out of Lindenwood, signed as a free agent on December the 2nd after being on the practice squad last year, made the tackle.
There's that Lindenwood. That's one of the powerhouses of college football.
Part of Eric Mangini's Ellis Island, a football player.
So you want an opportunity, you come here. Schaefering's taking advantage of that opportunity. 3rd down. Let's watch coverage. Let's watch pressure. Oh, I'm sorry, 2nd.
2nd and 8. Roethlisberger for Holmes. Nice play by McDonald as he knocked it away from Holmes, who wanted a flag.
Boy, has he played a heck of a game here tonight. Brandon McDonald. And he's lined up against a variety of receivers. This time, you're going against Santonio Holmes. See how he takes the inside position. Now he comes back inside, work with the top hand to the receiver, and the inside hand comes down and slaps it away.
3rd and 8 for the Steelers. They're 1 for 10 with only one of their attempts over 9 yards. 0 for 4 between 5 and 8 yards.
That's the guy to watch right there, Heath Miller.
Blitz, Roethlisberger gets hit, Can't get Miller. Incomplete. Matt Roth got pressure on Roethlisberger. And there's a flag in the play.
And it's going to go against Hartwig, the center. Ooh, Roth was lucky he didn't get himself a horse collar.
Watch Hartwig, number 62, with the hold on Roth.
And then Roth got himself a handful of Roethlisberger. And the reason I mentioned to you about throwing the ball, looks like they're going to go for it here.
Their offense on the field,
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
They're going to go for it right here. Now, I don't know why.
Did Cleveland accept the penalty?
I would have declined it and given it fourth down. If they accepted, they're moving back and they get another third down. And that's one play away from a big play, and you get the first.
It'd be 4th and 8.
The penalty is accepted. Repeat, third down.
So they've accepted the penalty. Rather than 4th and 8, they're out of field goal range, where they were at the 34-yard line. Eric Mangini has accepted the penalty. He's given Pittsburgh another down here. Now, Matt, a simple defensive holding in the secondary would give Pittsburgh an automatic first down.
Yeah, and that would have been a 51-yard kick. I think I would have declined it. Let's watch coverage again.
See the Browns with...
They're going to rush 3 and drop 8.
That walk-around defense. Roethlisberger, middle of the field, dropped by Mendenhall.
And that's why they took the penalty, because they knew they were going to drop it right there. They had the right idea. They ran coverage off. And everybody got depth. And he was just going to sneak Mendenhall underneath. And with one problem, he forgot to watch the ball in. That's the 4th drop ball here tonight by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Sepulveda to punt. That's a knuckleball to Cribbs. Takes a bad bath for Pittsburgh. It'll be down at the 14. Cleveland by 7. Jennings picks up a couple. Travis Kershke on the tackle after a gain of 3. Take a look at Indianapolis. San Diego is playing well. Denver, one of the wild card leaders, right on their heels. Cincinnati, 9-3 in control in the north. New England, what has happened to the Patriots? They have not been able to win on the road, close games out. But Baltimore plays a big game this weekend. Miami plays at Jacksonville. That's a huge game. Jets are in Tampa without Mark Sanchez. Still a lot of football to be played. Cribbs gets the edge. He held about a yard short of the first down at the 23. Tyrone Carter knocked him out.
They've been trying to get that edge to the left side all night long, and they've been successful for the most part. And that's because Robert Royal, the tight end, is doing a good job along with Joe Thomas and Steinbach, that left guard.
Big third down here for Cleveland. Lead by 7. Just under 11 minutes to go. They're trying to use more clock, create field position. Cribbs in the Wildcat. Cribbs gets the first down. Got the 25-yard line. He got it by a yard. Ball popped out, but he was ruled down as James Harrison got the hit on him, along with Lawrence Timmons.
Yeah, did you see how he did that, though? He started to the outside, and he knew he had only a yard to go. He just stuck his right foot in the ground and came right downhill. Watch this. He's going to start. Now stick that foot and then come downhill as fast as you can. He knows Timmons is there, lowers his shoulder, finishes it, and it's first down.
Cribbs 7 carries for 73 yards. Cleveland 151 yards rushing. Jennings picks his way for a couple. Brett Kiesel on the tackle after a gain of 2. You know, talking with Mike Tomlin, when we're talking about some of the ills in his ball club and what has gone wrong for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he said, look, you know, one of the things we're not doing, we're not forcing turnovers. We're not playing our style ball. We're -5 in the plus-minus as Kiesel was shaken up on the play. They need a spark. They need a defensive play right now.
They need a big play defensively, and then conversely, the Cleveland Browns can't self-destruct, which means they can't turn the ball over.
2nd and 8.
Nice by Brady.
He's going to get called for a delay of game, though. Well, he got the play off as he gets it off for Jennings. Hit by Woodley. And he's going to get knocked out of bounds. Back at the 23, William Gay in run support to help out.
Now you see what the Steelers did at the line of scrimmage. They showed a blitz. He tried to get him out of it by running outside and away from it. See Brady Quinn, he's checking everything at the line. He's seeing all this stuff inside. He's going to try to bounce it outside. One of the things Jennings is going to have to be able to do is have a little bit more discipline and patience inside.
Cleveland 5 of 13 on their third downs here in the football game, and another 3rd and long. They're 2 for 7 and 9+. Cribbs is going to take it on the run. Cribbs turns the corner. He's got the first down. Got hit by Farrier, but maintained his balance, and he picks up 14.
Everybody in the stadium knows where it's going. And he follows Mike Gaines, number 86, and then Vickers, 47, that whole left side. You know it's going to the left side, and they cannot stop Cribbs. Cribbs has himself about 85 yards now for the night. They said they needed to take away their big gun. They have not been able to do it the whole night long.
He's the knockout guy, and he's delivering it to Pittsburgh. 8 minutes to go. The defending Super Bowl champions down by 7 to the 1-11 Browns. Jennings will get a yard. Farrier on the tackle. This drive started back at the 14-yard line. Roethlisberger's been sacked 7 times. Ben 13 of 23 for 160 yards. Eric Mangini told us after the bye his team has played a better brand of football. There's more accountability in that locker room. They changed the facility. They opened up the locker room. They've done things to kind of bring this team together and get the right people in there that are committed to winning.
Smart, athletic, and tough. It goes for both sides of the ball.
Second and 9. Jennings can't get the cutback lane as Tyrone Carter chased it down to the backside. Well, teams, 10 games under 500 to defeat the defending NFL champions. You got to go back to 97, the last time it happened, when the Colts beat the Packers. The Bengals in 91 beat the Giants at 1-11, and the Cowboys beat the Redskins in 1988 at 2-12. 6:40 to go.
This is sudden death here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You lose this one, your playoff hopes are done.
3rd and 8. Quinn in the middle of the field. Can't find Moore, who is open.
He had him too. He's been throwing that thing high the whole night long. He had it earlier, and then Moore made himself a great catch earlier with a one-hander, but he gets on top of Timmons. You're going to watch him. Just on top, got to bring that ball down, and that's a huge play.
Holmes back deep. Quinn 6 of 19 for 90 yards. So the Steelers have 6:24 to go. Down by 7. Punt takes a bounce out of bounds. From their own 21, they'll start.
Time for you to prove you're a champion. If you are what you say you are, be it now.
Blitz on. Roethlisberger buys some time. Wallace, did he get his feet in? They confer.
That's good officiating right
No.
there. Outstanding job by the official. That's exactly what they're supposed to be. They take a good look at it. You get the linesman and the back judge, you come down and you look at it. Are they in? No, that's a great call by the officials.
Right foot was out.
Good mechanics. Yep, good mechanics. Now defensively, do not become a shrinking violet. You got here, Rob Ryan, by hanging it all out. Continue to go with your man coverage and put it back in your players.
Second and 10. Roethlisberger. Keith Miller dives ahead. He's got a first down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 11. Hank Poteet on the tackle.
Well, the coverage du jour has been man under, too deep. They were able to give him protection. There's no place to go. And so he comes back and he finds him with Heath Miller. Now here's where he wanted to go. He wanted to go to Holmes, but you had McDonald with the underneath coverage and the safety over the top. So it took it away.
From the Pittsburgh
Locked
32.
up man up top right now.
Mendenhall can't turn the corner. Picks up 3. Matt Roth on the tackle.
I like Matt Roth. I said a little bit earlier, he's one of those guys who's played himself a pretty good game. And that man right there, Rob Ryan, has called Mangini a heck of a game. He told us yesterday, he said, hey, my guys are ready to play. We're going to have a hell of a show. And he is right.
No turnovers in the ball game. Approaching 5 minutes to go. Defending Super Bowl champions down by 7. At 6-6. Wallace bounces off the tackle. Near the first down, they'll give him 9 on the play.
Eric Wright makes the tackle again, about a half yard short. Now, as you look at the clock, 4.5 to go. The Steelers, you know, they got to just keep on marching. They just have to keep on marching. Pick up this first down here.
All 3 timeouts remaining. Pittsburgh with a 3rd and 1. Mendenhall has the first down. Adams on the tackle to the 45-yard line.
And that was well done by Roethlisberger because he went with a quick count. He got up to the line of scrimmage and snapped it right away, and the defense wasn't ready. Nobody was down. It was simple to just get that first.
Mendenhall 16 carries, 53 yards. From the Pittsburgh 46. Roethlisberger, nobody open. Chased by Bowens and nearly intercepted by Adams.
He has some protection, but there's better coverage down the field. Has been the story of the night. He's looking down. There's nowhere to go with the ball. Bowens gets his hands up and then gives chase, and then he comes back and can't quite put enough mustard on it. You tell me where you can throw right there. Wright has himself good coverage. It's been like that all night long. They have just been simply outstanding.
2nd and 10 for the Steelers with 3:30 to go. Roethlisberger completes it to midfield to Miller, and he gets tackled right on the spot by Hank Poteet. And that's only a gain of 4.
And that's that bunch coverage we were talking about. And what it does with defense is it forces you to back off because there's the danger of getting picked when you're all in tight. So usually what you do is you back off, you go one inside, outside, and one on top. And Heath Miller does a smart thing and sits down in the middle of the zone, of the bunch.
0 for 4 between 5 and 8 yards for Pittsburgh on a 3rd and 6. Roethlisberger completes it for a first down. Finds Ward. Bad hamstring and all.
Yeah, and this is in the pick category. It's called a rub. They don't quite go ahead and knock him out, but what they do is they get the inside receiver and he just runs to your guy, and it forces Wright, number 20, to have to come over the top. I'm sorry, that's Mike Adams. I'm sorry, Wright's 24. But Adams has to get over the top because he has to avoid the receiver coming inside, and it allows him to get open.
Pittsburgh uses one of their 3 timeouts with 2:40 to go in the ball game, down by 7. Chris Jennings has a touchdown for Cleveland, but now they can only hope that the defense can get a stop. Huge 3rd down conversion to Hines Ward. Ward tested out that hamstring before the game. 4 catches for 21 yards. Roethlisberger 17 of 29 for 188.
And this is what it's about. Now, if you are supposed to be a world champion, now is the time to play like a world champion. Forget about the first 58 minutes. Now is all that matters.
With 2:40 to go in Cleveland territory. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. Mendenhall to the left of Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger under pressure. He'll be sacked for the 8th time.
Turn around and kiss your coverage. Nowhere to go with the ball yet again. Here comes protection. Nicely picked up inside. He's looking down the field. There's nowhere to go. And that's
Luka Mayava got the sack. The rookie out of USC.
And here's the coverage. Let's take a good look at it. Everybody on somebody. By the time he was able to look at Hines Ward, Mayava was on top of it.
2nd and 19. Roethlisberger with time. Can't find Miller. Furry with the pick, but incomplete. Pittsburgh with 2 timeouts remaining. 1:55 to go. 3rd and 19. Down by 7 for their own 48.
Here's that walk around. He's giving Pittsburgh a dose of Pittsburgh.
Here comes the pressure. Roethlisberger to Heath Miller. Miller tackled at the 39-yard line of Cleveland. Picks up 13. Abram Elam on the tackle.
And they'll have to go for it here on this 4th down.
Pittsburgh with 1 timeout remaining. Down by 7, 1:48 to go. It's 4th down for the Steelers. Who's Roethlisberger looking for here, Matt?
Hines Ward, number 1. Heath Miller, number 2.
Trying to end a 4-game losing streak. The defending Super Bowl champions.
They're messed up. There's Heath Miller if he hasn't.
Roethlisberger nearly intercepted. But Pittsburgh turns it over on down. David Bowens knocks it away with 1:43 to go.
And this crowd appreciates it. They love a fighter. And they love to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it looks like they got messed up in their coverage right from the snap. But Bowens just roaming back there, following the eyes of Roethlisberger, and knocks that thing away. It looks like it was 5 under, 3 deep. Take a good look at it. You're going to rush 3 guys, and then you're going 5 under. Now watch the eyes. That should have been picked.
So now with 1:43 to go. Jennings picks up a couple. Pittsburgh will use their final timeout with 1:38 to go in the ballgame.
The man he was trying to get to is right here, number 10. It's Antonio Holmes. He's going to try to sit right back inside. But remember, with 5 under, that means you're underneath coverage. You've divided the field into 5 separate zones underneath. And Bowens is sitting in the middle, and he can read the eyes of the quarterback. When you're sitting in a zone, you can do that. And it was played to perfection when Bowens should have had himself a pick, but instead knocks the ball away, and they get it anyway.
And Mike Tomlin can only sigh as Massaquoi Browns want to celebrate. They've lost 12 in a row. What a shot in the arm this would be to Eric Mangini and his program in Cleveland. He's been under a lot of fire at 1-11. But he talked about what he saw in his football team over the last few weeks. They've showed it tonight. 2nd and 7, Steelers out of timeouts. Jennings, ball security. Picks up a yard.
And that should be the game right there. You got 40 and 40 is 80. 120, you might get the ball back with 20 seconds. But to me, this game goes to Rob Ryan and his defense. We've talked about the coverage all night long out of the secondary. They didn't shrink up. They played man coverage most of the time. And then Rob Ryan just kept on dialing up the same stuff. He wasn't afraid to go to it. And you can clearly see a difference between the Cleveland Browns from early in the season to now, because he's letting it all hang out.
Quinn lets the play clock get to 1. Jennings fights for a yard, and that's it. So they reset the clock. Play clock is 35 seconds. About an 8-second difference between the play clock and the game clock.
That is the end of the defending Super Bowl champions, barring a miracle. They'll go to their 7th loss. Let's see how they work their way back in.
And the 171 yards rushing by the Browns, the most they've had against Pittsburgh since 1972. Brady Quinn did not turn it over. Santonio Holmes back deep as Cleveland will take a timeout with 8 seconds remaining.
And Brady Quinn, nice recipe. Didn't turn the ball over again, missed a couple of throws, but was in control of the game. Didn't lose control, kept his eyes where they were supposed to be. I was messing with him yesterday with that long hair of his. And when I first interviewed him a couple of years ago, I had a chance to sit and talk with him, meet with him. I wasn't quite sure if he was pretty or not. You know, one of those pretty guys. He's not a pretty guy.
Yeah, and Roethlisberger wants to get one more shot. But, you know, talking about Brady Quinn, you saw him run around. See that long hair? So we asked him about that long hair. He said, look, I'm going to donate it to charity after the season. I'm going to get a cut for cancer patients. He said, that's why I'm letting it grow long.
Like that kid. He's got some toughness to him. He's a former wrestler.
They're coming after Hodges. He just gets it away to the sideline. Holmes.
That's the game.
Needs to go post to post. He will not. Tackled at the 15-yard line by the former Steeler, Arnold Harrison.
Never underestimate the power of a rival.
And for the Cleveland Browns, look at Eric Mangini and the win for his program as they beat the defending Super Bowl champions and hand Pittsburgh their 7th loss of the season. And what a job by Rob Ryan and his defense tonight.